welcome. Hey Con, how's it doing? How's it going? Alright, we're continuing with the 0.15 upgrade here. And I made a lot of progress, so yeah, there's a small amount of things left to do here. Well, I guess not really small right now. I have to basically redo a lot of things in the SIG game editor because I'm using namespace all over the place, and I have to like restructure the whole thing. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do there. Oh, you tried SIG yesterday? Oh, cool. How did it go? There we go. So one of the problems here is if we go to this struct here, this is a struct here, context. It's like quite a large struct. It has basically everything needed for basically everything like in the editor. And I went ahead and like split it up into multiple files, sort of like a partial class in C# or whatever. But yeah, you can't do that anymore. So yay. So I have to change all this using namespace. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna copy all the things in here. It was nice having it sort of separate, but I think what I'll do is I will separate them by comments so that we still have some sections. What you could do in NeoVim or Vim in general is to create a sort of a fold here. Wait, how did you do this? Honestly, it was fine, but I really dislike the input system. Still don't fully understand how to do it. Do you mean like reading from the keyboard, or what do you mean by the input system? Let's see, how... I'm pretty sure there's a way to make your own folds. There we go. Right, so now I can do this instead, I guess. Alright. Yeah. Oops. I'll just do this. And... oh no. Session. Right. So you can do this, which is fine. Input like normal freaking input, like getting input. Oh, you're talking like keyboard input, like let's say you're in the terminal and you wanna see if you like press a key or whatever. Is that what you mean? Wait, okay, yeah, now we have this. I mean, I don't know. There's different kinds of inputs. Like, I don't know. You could have meant something else. Like, I don't know, input like reading a file, or I don't know. you know, it was just a question. This is project. But okay, I never tried doing it like raw in Zig. So I don't know how hard that is, but why is this? Okay. I mean, yeah, sure. I just, you know, when programming, it's like and usually also when you cooperate with others, it's very important to be very clear about the terminology and like what you mean, because it's like there are several different kinds of input, and of course that would be the most natural thing, but you know, you could have meant something else. I don't know. It's why doc comments exist in Zig? They do. They do exist. So if I say, for example, here, creates editor session, blah blah blah. Well, okay, now my LSP doesn't work, but why they exist? I mean, so you can get more information if you want to know more about a like, let's say you're trying to use a library and you get the documentation right in your LSP. You don't have to look up stuff in maybe their documentation site or whatever. You can get the information right in your LSP. And you can put in, you know, examples, more explanation on different, you know, the parameters, the return values, whatever. I mean, that's just a common thing in all programming languages, basically. I guess almost all programming languages, but most have some sort of documentation thing, and if they don't, then there usually exists some sort of tool that gives you documentation. For example, JavaScript has like JSDoc, which is not like a built-in thing in the language, but the tooling around it enables you to get the documentation for functions. And well, in Zig it just happens to be sort of well, it's sort of built in, I guess. Let's see. Create. Yeah, that's right. So now we can close. Why is this like? Oh. All right, that was project. Now we go to editor. Zig syntax seemed too unintuitive when I tried it out. Like, I can't imagine writing a big program like that. Right. I mean, I think it comes down to getting used to it and getting used to the style of programming as well, because you don't have the usual, you know, classes and you know, stuff like that you have in many other programming languages. But it is, you know, it is. If you're used to C, then it should be more easy to go to Zig, I think, because then, well, it's it's more like C than C++. Let's see. This was editor. How are you supposed to write functional? Well, I mean, you can write functional code in SIG. It's just you can't really do like everything. You can't. You can't do. There are a lot of stuff actually that you can do, but you have to. It's like, yeah, it's like the language, I guess, lends itself more to the imperative, to the procedural style of programming, and not functional. But you can, I mean, you can pass functions around. You can have types that are, you know, the sort of polymorphic and stuff like that. So you can write like a map function that takes a function and determine based on the type of the function you pass in. You can have different results. It's just that it's not meant to be that kind of language, but you can do it. And it's also like they willingly didn't make it very easy to define sort of functions like that either. If you want to define a function sort of on the fly, but it's really not capturing anything in the surrounding scope. It just, you know, you just return. Well, the thing that it captures is the comp time scope. It actually captures the comp time scope, but not the runtime scope. So you can actually, like, let's say we have a function here. I don't know what to call it really. And then you can construct a function like this. So it is possible. It's just very cumbersome, you know. So now this is a function here. F is a function that you can pass around if you want. I can't do stuff outside OOP for big projects. Right. Yeah, I will tell you that OOP is not necessary for big projects. It's it all comes down to what you're used to. If you're used to OOP and you do big projects with OOP and that's what you do, then I full-heartedly can see how it's hard to go to something else. But it's definitely not necessary for big projects. I mean, you can organize. I mean, yeah. It's like let's compare the structs in SIG, and I guess also in C by that extension. It's kind of like a primitive class. You can actually, in Zig, you can follow the sort of class pattern. You can still sort of have this OOP pattern in Zig if you really want to. But it's not going to be sort of built into the language, and you have to sort of, it's more like you're going to adhere to a sort of pattern that you need, that you want to have. So that's the difference. It's like if you have classes, then the pattern is kind of built into the class system. In Zig, it's like you can sort of make, it's like it's opening up to other sort of patterns, I guess you could say. I say yes, I have to change my pattern here. But this is all in just to make this so that I can have context, like saying self dot or context dot or yeah, these functions. As I said, I understand, like if you're used to that, I totally understand that it's gonna be very difficult to go to something else. But I mean, obviously there are big projects that are built without OOP. So new directory, okay. Well, okay, that's just a function, I guess. Let's just do all of these ones. New asset, document, thumbnail. But I am interested to know the reason why you think that way. Oops. This is just mindless boilerplating here, or yeah. Let's hope, well, yeah. This is probably for the better anyway. And I was contemplating whether to put these in like separate namespaces, like separate types of but it's like we want to have access to the context, but the thing is maybe we separate the context into several different parts that have like different responsibilities instead of having everything in one place. So that could be something that we can look at in the future, but for now I just want this to be updated and working, so I'll just do this. Okay, there we go. Okay. So yeah, now we have all these like this instead. Okay. And let's see. It's like higher levels of order, like you have main function, functions, classes, files, folders, etc. So when you remove classes, it becomes less clean. mic on pin to a brew. How's it going? Welcome. Try to check tag unions. You can organize a lot of the OOP dependency that you have. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that you're talking about this maybe. Yeah, so what I was thinking is that the way I've structured it here is like I have this editor, and basically all state that it needs is in this context here, just for convenience. I put everything in there to begin with, and then I mean, we can still have this sort of main maybe thing, but then there's all these, like, I guess, islands of state that could be separated into different things. And really, I think I'm gonna have to start with looking at the functions and saying, okay, what can we separate out into different sort of namespaces, and just, you know, have them not have the whole context, but they actually have parts of the context that they can operate on instead. Like that right now, it's just for convenience. That's why I didn't want to do it as well. Because it's so easy just to say self context, and we have access to everything. So that's just like it's a very convenient way to do it. It's just that now everything is in here, but it's not really an issue. I don't know. It's just that I saw that there was these groupings, and then I decided to why not using namespace and put them in separate files. But then there was a bunch of issues actually with that as well, so I think it's actually better like this. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so what is the error here? Right, so I have like a whole... Okay, the other thing is this lib file where I basically put all the types that I need and stuff in here, also functions and everything, so that I could just import this file and I'd have access to everything instead of having to import relative files everywhere, because that's just a pain in the ass. And so now I have to change it here because I was using namespace here, so I have basically changed all of these were basically using namespace before, so now I have to type lib.layouts, for example, whatever, in order to access that. So yeah, there's a little bit of refactoring going on, or yeah, fixing to fix the using namespace issue. If you remove classes, it becomes less clean, in my opinion. I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm not arguing, but I can say that, you know, you can have substitutes for classes. That's all I'm saying. Like, you don't need classes per se. You can use stuff like structs, or, you know, just types in general. If you're using like functional programming languages, you don't have classes. You have like, well, if you're using Haskell, you have types and type classes and functions. That's all you have. I say all because it's quite complex, but yeah, and there's definitely, you know, large projects built in various different programming languages. There's like, it's not OP, it's not the only thing you can build large projects in. Are you creating a chatbot? Okay, cool. I was thinking about you doing that as well. Maybe sometime I will do that. If you create namespaces, you will need to pass the context to all the namespaces. So, well, no, not really. The idea was that, well, my initial thought was that, let's say a session here, for example. I'm looking at the function here, and here we're taking in context. So what do we actually use on the context? So we're using current project, allocator, current editor, and this function here. So this is the only thing I need out of the context to be able to do this function here. So my idea was, instead of having everything on the context, is to maybe move this, have the project maybe in like the current project and current editor, maybe those are like in I don't know, some place else, and then you don't take a context, you take the thing that has these things, right? And then maybe an allocator on the side, and this function will probably not, you know, you don't have self.create editor session documents, you would have something else, like you would have, and then you pass in. So instead of doing this, you pass in whatever state that you need. That's what I was thinking there. So let's say you have, I don't know, something like editor state, and that's a bad name, but I'm just for purposes of showing this. So current project, current editor, right? And then you pass in the state instead. And so we will take state like this. And maybe, and then this one you also, maybe it needs state, maybe it needs something else. So then you would do all this stuff. So then we totally remove the need for having this big context struct. But that is so much work right now, so I'm not seeing a benefit of doing it like that right now. So, but it's one possible way of organizing this thing. But the thing is also, like, having one thing that has everything is so convenient. So it's like, why even do that? I don't know. It's right now, at least, I don't feel it's overwhelming to have the context and everything on it right now. It may come a time where it might be overwhelming, and then we might like move things to different things. But right now, it doesn't really make sense to do it. I mean, do you even have an HTTP library for Zig, or will you make it all from scratch, or what? There are HTTP libraries. For Zig, there's multiple HTTP libraries, and there's also like built-in in the standard library. There are built-in there is built-in functionality for creating your own server as well. However, it's always the thing with Zig, because it's like a new language. So if you're gonna use it, you're gonna have to, as I'm doing right now, I'm updating to 0.15 from 0.14, and I have to do a lot of changes because I was using things that went away in the new version. So you're gonna have to be aware that a lot of things can change. So if you have a big project and there's a change that makes it so that basically you have to change a lot of stuff, then that could be a lot of extra work if you want to keep up to date with the latest version. So, but I do think, but yeah, so that's what you need to be aware if you want to start using these for your own thing. But I do think the things that they do are really good, and it works very, very, very good. And I think they are moving in a good direction as well. With the things that with the changes that they have. All right, so it was just unfortunate that I had I built in so much structure into a thing that they removed. So yeah, that stung a little bit, but yeah, let's just continue here. But I am done. This is like the last stage. So I have updated all my other projects, and also all the dependencies that I had. So I had libraries that I had to sort of patch myself. So I forked them and patched them, but to work with like the new version, but it was actually pretty painless to do that. So that's nice. It's just this is my own project. This is like the bottleneck right here. So this is the last bastion of updates that I have to do. So the game is already like updated. This is the editor that I'm updating right now. Okay, so we need to import editor session. That is in here now, I believe. Or is it in session? No, I think it's in there. Editor session document. Are we even exporting that right now? Let's see, we have editor and session. I guess it's in here then. Yeah. It's just nice to have a file that exports everything so that you can just easily import things. The nice thing about this is that this line right here becomes the universal line for importing this type here. So if I want to import editor session document, I can simply say editor session document and then auto-complete it, and that will automatically like build this in, because the LSP doesn't have, you know, it doesn't have auto import. So this is a nice way of always keeping it the same, which is nice as well, because I hate looking at the imports being all different and stuff. That's just a pet peeve of mine. Did not upgrade to 0.15 yet, I'm afraid. Yeah, there are a lot of changes, but it's I think it's for the better. I think the major ones are likely to be like using namespace is gone. The array list unmanaged. No, yes, the array list unmanaged is now the default array list. So if you're using array list, the normal array list that was before, that is actually called now array list managed. So you have to like change your imports if you're importing that. But it's deprecated, but it's still available, and so you don't actually have to sort of move to unmanaged. However, you would have to do it, I think, for the next version is when I'm gonna like, I don't know if it's like 0.16 or whatever, when they usually sort of deprecate it one version and the next version they remove it or something like that. I don't know. What else? I mean, and then it's the build system. So, but that was actually pretty painless. It's like before you had your exe look something like this. You had root source file equals this. Now all you have to do is wrap these arguments with this, and that's all you have to do basically. Well, okay, it's not true actually. If you're using like add shared library and add static library, those are now gone, and instead you have to say add library and add like a option in there to say if it's static or shared or whatever. But otherwise it's pretty, I don't think there was anything else in the build system. So it's like I have to do a lot of changes since I was using namespace. That's basically the only reason why I have to do a lot of changes here. It was working already on 0.14. Yeah, okay, yeah. I guess it was working. Like I was using like the deprecated stuff, but now they actually removed it. So I had to migrate, but it wasn't really a big deal. I was mostly worried about the dependencies that I had, which some of them actually didn't have an update to 0.15, so I forked it and updated it myself instead. But it took like 10 minutes something per project or something, if even that. Are you reading the Rust book? I haven't read that. It's actually interesting. I'm actually interested in the borrow stuff, because that is, I mean, there are concepts that are applicable in all programming, like low-level programming languages, I would think. So that's actually interesting. Okay, let's see what we have here. So basically, okay, yeah. So there are like project options, document content. What's it called? Document or documents? I forget. Documents. Oh, I'm not exporting document. I was thinking of exporting like very common stuff, but maybe it's fine. So this would be documents. Node is assets library or asset library or assets library. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to learn with programming, and it's like also the only way you're actually gonna get better is practicing, and you know, yeah, getting used to the different styles. Learn one style, then learn more styles, because you're gonna sort of borrow from different styles as well and create your own sort of favorite. Or yeah, I'm constantly in a flux. Like right now I'm practicing on the procedural thing here with SIG, but I'm constantly thinking about, okay, but this, I wish I had like a functional way of doing this. And so I did implement some functional stuff in SIG, but let's see. Okay, so what now? Like the iterators, the generic iterators. Asset index, yes. Scene entity. That, I'm not sure if that's actually available. Let's see. We have documents. And then we have scene here. I think I have to go. I think I have to create a new thing here. This would be scene. That makes sense. scene entity tile map. Yeah, it's gonna be the same. Document error. Wonder if that exists there. No. Generate thumbnail, right, so that is lib thumbnail. That's also something like, but I want to avoid doing this, because then in each function you would have to go in and, let's say you have lib.whatever in all of the place. What happens if you want to change your organization there? So I really don't like actually doing this. I would rather have generate thumbnail like this thumbnail, because it's yeah, if you're gonna reorganize, then it's such a pain to change on all the places where you have it. Right. Where is this? Oh, do we have NFT here? No? So animation document. All right. I renamed this here. There we go. Yeah, there are a lot of stuff doing here. So, mic on Pinto a brew. What is your project there that you're working on in Zig? Oh my god. Oh, the tile source. Yeah, there's probably like time map. Like this. This one I think we have. Vector context, yeah. Generic. No. Oh, I see. Okay, we can do this. Just as to the asteroid-like game with Raylib as well. Oh, okay, cool. Now I was asking what the Zig project was. There, gone. Oh yeah, but oh yeah, and you did. See if I remember. Oh yeah, you wanted to do something with input. What kind of program did you want to do? But I mean, we can actually see if we can solve that problem here. Zig. Where's the documentation here? I guess you were using 0.15, right, Con? Okay. But I'm curious actually, so we could look at it. Let's see. Here we go. Now, there could be something in here with that. We could also look at the standard library. I'm just gonna skim through if there's anything with like IO here. I don't know, but no, doesn't look like it. Okay, so let's look at the standard library here. So I know that there are, it's like standard IO is one thing. And but maybe there are more high level stuff as well. I'm not sure actually. Oh, there's still like the old one here as well. I mean, okay, I want to see if we can make this. So let's say we do, let's say we want to make standard input, right? We want to read from standard input. Don't forget the flush, yeah. Right, so here we have that. And we will remove the root. And I'm just gonna say remove all the tests and stuff. What else? Where's the library? Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then go to main. Yeah, All right. Okay. So let's do what you let's. I just wanna. We can learn together here. So because I'm actually curious how easy this is or how hard this is. But okay, what is your age? Right. And I believe since we're using well, this is standard debug. So let's grab standard out, which is like standard out rider.interface. And let's standard out rider. This is going to be now, because I've learned this. So this is IO. Now don't get LSP here, unfortunately, but this is going to be IO. No, this is like this when you're gonna. I believe this is the thing you do. Okay, we'll find out. So that's our rider. Oh yeah, you need a buffer as well. Let's just do like this. Okay, there we go. Right, so now we have our thing. And we want to say now we can do that. So let's begin there. Hopefully it should be good. Like with syntax, I really don't understand what we're doing. Like, why is it an interface? Why does every input need a buffer? Like, it's complicated for no reason. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, they did change this quite recently. So before, you did it differently. Before, you could just say get standard out and you would get a rider. And you didn't need to define your own buffer. This is, I think this is to make it so that there might be a way to do this better, like differently and more easier, but I have not learned it. But this is basic. This is the basic way that you can create a rider to stand it out. But there might be, you know, that the whole point is to have options to do whatever you need to do. And so this is like the raw basic stuff you need to do. But then you could have abstractions on top of this, which automatically creates a buffer for you and stuff like that. So, but I'm not that well versed right now to actually know what that is right now. I know there's some, like, you can create like a fixed buffer and stuff like that, but I don't remember exactly how to do that. What's this? Oh yeah, so we forgot to remove something here. Imports, no. No, we can do it like that. Okay, interesting. Holy shit, there's a lot of things. Okay, let me see if this is faster in Windows. Maybe a little bit. I wonder if the new compiler is enabled. It felt like it should be. Expected 0 arguments, found 1. Oh, do I have to say .rider and then the buffer maybe? Okay. But it didn't. Oh yeah, I need to flush. That's right. Unless you flash, it does nothing happens. There we go. So there's our thing there. Now it's printing out what is your age. Very good. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to read from standard input. So I've never done this, so I'm not actually sure how to do it, but I guess we have a standard in reader. And we need a standard in buffer as well. And you know, the reasons why you need all this is basically this is what C++ is doing under the hood. So you're basically looking at and what you need to do in any program is like whenever you're reading a string or whatever, you need somewhere to put it in the memory, and this is where it's put right here. So you're kind of determining yourself where to put the thing. So it's like you have more options, you have more like ways to do the thing if you want to do it in a different way. So I think that's what they are aiming for. Okay, so there's our reader. I think this needs to be mutable. And then we have our standard in interface. Okay. So then I'm just guessing here. Let me check. Now if we read from standard in, I guess it's just gonna block. I'm not sure actually. Or do we have to make a loop? That feels no, it has to be some sort of blocking somewhere, right? I mean, I guess you could do it asynchronously as well. So this is the reader interface. Now we could do like read. You could like wait for things to be able to be read. There are like stream stuff as well. You could like there are a lot of different options you could do. But it's basically I need to, because I'm thinking of, okay, how does this work under the hood? So I kind of know how it works, sort of like, because there's a buffer, and as long as the user hasn't typed in anything, then that buffer will be empty. So there's going to be nothing to read, right? So then either you have a loop where you just wait for the thing to be read, or there's like an operating system function, a syscall that you can do that blocks until you have something in the buffer. But here it would be nice to have, you know, the like a convenience function that is like take until something. There's probably like an example or something somewhere. Here you can create a fixed one, but you have to provide a buffer as well. Okay. Interesting. Buffered reader, buffered length. Okay, so here we can get the thing, get the read. I guess this is the read bytes, or the currently buffered. To be honest, I can't really see how you would do this right now unless you, like, it's not really obvious from just this interface. I want to look at file system, file standard in. We get a file. There's no documentation here or anything. We get a file. Here we could probably read blocking read or something, am I right? We can read with an offset, and then it just reads some read all read. So this reads until it's deprecated in favor of reader. Okay. So I think I think the idea is that you would produce some sort of reader, and then you do that. Let's see if there's any documentation here, because that's the one thing that is kind of bad with Zig, the documentation. To be honest, it's like, especially for new stuff. Like, you would think that there are ways to do this. Okay, here you can, here, wait, where did this function? Where was this function? Oops. Const line, try in read until delimiter. But this doesn't exist. I'm confused. Oh, this is file reader. I see. I see. We need to look at IO. We need to look at like the this reader. There we go. Here it is. Okay. So let's do this. Take delimiter exclusive. So this reads the line basically. So you can type in a line and press enter and you read it. Right? Okay. So line is gonna be standard in take delimiter exclusive, and then this would be a new line, and then we print this out. Okay, so you are something years old. No. Oh, try. Cannot form a slice without spare. Oh yeah, so this we need to say is S for string 24. I'm lying, by the way. Okay, so it did exit. Oh, I forgot to flush. Okay, well, it sort of works. I guess we can do like a new line here. No? What's happening? Do I have to flush the standard in as well? No? Oh shit, sorry. Yeah, so this is what I have right now. So we have the standard in interface here. We read a line like this. Try standard in, take delimiter exclusive. Wait, take delimiter. Yeah, this would be like take until you have this delimiter, and then don't include the delimiter in the actual results. So that's the line. Wait, do we get the actual buffer out or what? Yeah, we do. Okay. Or what's the like the ownership of this buffer here? Oh, I guess it's like part of this buffer here, so we don't really need to worry about that. Okay, cool. But then it kind of doesn't look that great. It looks like this. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe we need to flush this before as well. I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with the terminal. Also, I want to look at something here. Reader, writer. Is there like a version? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this doesn't show. What if we do... that. I just want to see what this says here. So that works. Okay, let's see if there's... Okay, that is that is strange. What is happening here? It's like if it's on its own line. Is it because of the carriage return? Maybe there's like a /r as well. But the difference here was that I added these here. Because it makes sense. Like, okay, first it prints this, right? Then we have like a return that prints. Maybe the return is part of this. So it's like 24 return. So R24, then it returns, and then years old. That makes sense. You know, I think it's the return character that we get. We get like a /r here. So if we say well, let's do let's just cut that off. I'm just gonna try this, see if that's the issue. Well, okay, now we'll remove these. Yeah, that was the issue. So it's like it's because when you press enter in, I think it's either in Unix or Linux or Windows, or I mean Linux and Windows. It's like when you press enter, you get both the /n/r, but in the other one you only get /n. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, it can. The point is that, yeah, it looks very complicated, but because this is what you actually, so this is like more what you need to do. We're seeing all the steps here, but what you can do is when you learn, maybe you have better understanding of when I have better understanding of, okay, what do I need to what I need to do to make this simpler here. So let's say I think there should be some sort of abstraction on top of this that makes it a lot easier. So that's the thing, and you get more of the raw kind of stuff here, and which leaves opens to more potential of, you know, doing things. I mean, you can all do all this in C and C++ as well. It's just that the standard libraries in there do it a little bit differently. So yeah, I know that in C++ you can do this very simple with the C out and C in and stuff. But yeah, that's not really the point here. I wanted to see how you would do this in. So this is the point. Is here is that this is the first thing that you do, and then you learn, okay, how can we do this better? It's not really for convenience sake. This is for, like, yeah, you want to do this in a way where you have total control, I guess, is a way to put it here. You have like control. You have so much control. You have control when you flush. You have control over where the buffer is. Here, like, you can see everything exposed here for what it is. And then when you understand that, you can go back to using the abstractions. And well, you can do it if you want anyway, but I just want to see if there's like a already built-in abstraction for specifically this, like buffer, like having to write your own buffer. Because what you can do as well is say, okay, let's make our own standard out here. Whoops. Why do I not get the thing there? Okay, whatever. Let's have a buffer, and then we will have I guess writer, which would produce standard IO writer. So this is the buffer, then we have standard out. This is a 5, I think. So I'm not sure if this already exists like in the standard library, but I'm just gonna show an easy way to abstract this. So this would be like buffer, we don't need set. This we set to standard file, standard out. Okay, and then we have the writer, so we will return Alright, so now we can say standard out equals to standard out init, and we don't have to do all this. Alright, that's the writer, and then we have to say interface. Yeah. Right, that's the standard out. And then you can do the same for standard in if you want. Well, I guess you can do this. You can say, I guess you can say here, you can say file. right? And then this is like a buffered. This is sort of a buffered version. This probably already exists. I don't know, buffered. Standard out, and then we have standard in, and then we can do these things. Because now we have these, I think this needs to be like mutables. Yeah, it's sort of encapsulated in here now instead. So everything that we needed to do, we can encapsulate like this. It doesn't take much to do this, and you can do things however you want to yourself. And you can make, you know, whatever, you know, a library that does it as well if you want to do it. But you get more control, like exactly how you want it to be. And you get a lot of nice functions as well. But let's see, yeah, standard in you already have, so now we can do this. Hopefully this will work now. No? Okay, I have a feeling where I might know where there could be an error as well, but let's figure it out. Oh yeah, that's right, so this needs to be, so we got standard out. Here we need a writer, and standard in a reader. Yeah, okay. So I know here what you have to do is we have to say reader is going to be this. Wait, hang on. Okay, now I think we have to save this state here as well. Reader is gonna be oh, this is actually a file reader, and then a writer here. And we have to sort of set this after here. We could also make this optional, so if they are like not implemented yet, so if it's no, we set it. And then we return. Yeah. Writer. Yeah, shadowing is not your friend. Okay, let's do this instead. And the thing here is now that these are not. You can only like call this once. It will initialize because then it's kind of shared in this object here. But I guess that's fine for our purposes. But that's also one thing that you can sort of change. Okay, now it works. So it's a little bit easier to implement this now. So you'd really probably want to have something like this instead, because it's like annoying if you have to do that every time. But it's also like, I don't know, if you're gonna use like standard out, I mean, you probably don't do that all over the place either. you probably have like, I don't know, some sort of struct that, some sort of logger or something. But it was kind of interesting to see how you could do this now with a new interface. And I've never actually done this sort of taking an input in like this in Zig before. But it was nice. This is like pretty simple, I would say. But it's also, it's like, yeah, it's a little bit different. You have to flush. And yeah, it's so feel more low-level languages overcomplicate things way more. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think what you're seeing here, as I said before, like what you're seeing here is like what the computer has to do in order to do this. Like C++ with a C in, a C out is hiding the details, but it's like, yeah, it looks nice and feels nice to use it, and yeah, I'm not saying like the one is better than the other. I'm saying like now you can see what's happening actually under the hood, sort of almost, and you can sort of have more control over what's happening as well, which is, well, it can be good, it can be bad, depending on what you want to do. Yeah, it's like you don't have to go down this much in detail either. It's like there's a choice. It's like it opens up a choice to do it, I guess. But I would be interested to know if there are like built-in like easier ways of doing it. Like there are these fixed buffer streams. I'm not sure if that's what you could use, maybe. Fixed, reader fixed, writer fixed. So what if you did file system, file, and let's say writer. Well, actually, well, no, just file, right? And then there's like fixed. No? Writer. Right, so this is file writer, specifically a file writer. So you can init interface. So, okay, no, wait, no, that's not the thing. Move to reader. Because what I was looking for is something like this, like you get a writer, not a writer, you get like a buffered writer that includes the buffer in it. But I think that's the thing that they wanted to maybe get to move away from. Maybe that's what they had before. I don't know. Well, I mean, to be fair, the standard in, standard out, like I'm not usually dealing with this. It is nice to have the reader and writer interfaces are really nice to have for like other stuff as well. And so, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal to me, doing it this way here. This part, is a bit annoying. I would say it's probably, I mean, the only difference here, we have to have our own buffer. So buffer, and then wait, no, this is the writer, right? File writer. This is the file writer. So you put the writer in here, and then standard out buffer there, and then you get standard out like this. No, you just get standard out like this interface. And I agree that this feels weird. Like this feels like there's, especially this part. This is what I feel is pretty strange. Like, I would at least want to have like a function instead that returns the thing, or that this doesn't return a file writer, it returns an actual writer that you can use. I don't know, it just, this extra step here feels weird to me. I don't know, there's probably a really good reason for them to do it, but reader, standard in file reader interface. All right, and then the rest should work, I think, as it did now. Semicolon. All right. So now we know. Now we know how to read from the standard input. Peak Sentinel. Oh, okay. Oh, whoops, you didn't see all that. Yeah, I refactored it into what it was like from the start here. But it's basically, yeah, you create these things. It takes 3 lines to create the standard out now. Before it only took... Wait, did it take 1 or 2 lines? I forgot. With the get standard out function. Yeah, get standard out dot writer. Okay, maybe if you go here and go to hello world, how does this look now? Okay, you can do this as well, I guess. Oh, you can do write on standard on the file itself. I see. But then you don't get, you don't, what you, wait, but how does this work? We don't have like a buffer and stuff. Does it automatically flush as well? File. This is deprecated, so they're using a deprecated version in the documents. I guess it was not updated, I don't know. Maybe they maybe that's a sign that this is too complicated, because they're not even using that the other way of doing it here. They wanted to make it seem as simple as possible, but this is deprecated, so that's kind of weird. I like pain, yes. No, but I do like seeing sometimes, you know, what is what is actually happening, so to get a better understanding of what is going wrong and stuff, and you know, troubleshooting, and yeah, it's just curiosity as well. Like knowing how things work is I like to do that. Per function peak sentinel. reader contents of the U8. There's the code of peaks and okay. Okay, yeah, I was curious how they would show this. But it's interesting that they show. But again, it's like it is an unfinished language, so there's gonna be pain points here and there. But what I wanted to know is if there was a like more easier way to do it. But I guess this is like deprecated, so. But it does have write as well, so. This is not deprecated, but this is deprecated, so I don't know. Maybe they are both deprecated. Writer streaming position was more thread safe since global sync position is not affected. But when such syscalls are not available, preemptively initializing streaming mode will skip a failed syscall. Okay. Yeah, so you can see that there are like a lot of weird documentation here, randomly documented. So it's still a language that is very much in flux right now, and it's very much, you know, still things are happening. So would you ever use this function? What is this? What's the point of the file writer? What is the point of this? I don't understand. Is it just because the implementation is here? You need the state and implementation here, maybe. This is kind of strange also. We have like a function defined in file writer that is called init interface. It takes a buffer and returns a standard IO writer. Okay, I see. Maybe like this is the backing writer or something. Yeah, okay. So the vtable, so the implementation is like the file writer, but the okay. I see. Why does SIG keep deprecated functions? Because of it's because of like a transitional period, I would guess. Like, you know, you have a project and you want to update to the new version, but you want to do it in sort of like steps. So maybe you are preparing to like update from the deprecated versions, but you still want to, like, let's say you're using like an example before, like right now ArrayList is the managed version of ArrayList is deprecated. ArrayList. Let's see, where's the ArrayList aligned managed. Yeah, so ArrayList managed. So this is deprecated, the managed version, and this was previously standard.ArrayList, pointed to this type, but now it's deprecated, but it moved here, so you can still use it because of backwards compatibility, but it's gonna be the removed, so it's marked as deprecated, and that means that okay, it's going to be removed. So you wanna migrate from this to something else. But in the meantime, you can still update the SIG version and use get the new functionality and still use this. If it's too much work, let's say, you can still sort of use it, and then maybe next version, when this is actually removed, then you have to sort of deal with it. So it's just a nice thing that they leave this here so that you can sort of deal with it in a so you don't have to do everything at once, I guess. Okay, thank you, Macon Pinto Brew. Have a good one. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe there are easier ways to do this. I don't know, but yeah, as I said, like the documentation is quite lacking right now. So it's like there are like a lot of documentation, but it's not finished. So by a long shot. And it's funny that this is actually like the latest version, but this is deprecated. So they're not like really prioritize this, I would guess. I would actually welcome that. It's like you have to sort of, when you use Zig, it's like you have to go in with the mentality that you are not gonna get like the full language experience. You're gonna have to explore by yourself. You're gonna have to solve problems by yourself. There's not a lot of answers on Stack Overflow and stuff like that. So it's like you have to manage a lot on your own. And I'm fine with that because I feel like I can move around in Zig and learn stuff and feel like it's nice to me. It feels nice to program in Zig to me. I don't see why people are excited about Zig. Like it just feels like a downgrade in simplicity. Well, that's kind of the point, I guess, as well as like simplicity does not necessarily mean good or bad. It's like it depends on what you want to get out of it. It's like if you want total control, then simplicity is bad because you can't do, like you can only do what you're provided. That's the tools that you have to work with, and you can't go outside of the box. So that's a bad thing in that perspective. But it's a good thing if that's the only thing you need and want to have in order to do what you want to do, because then you can sort of be more productive and stuff. Yeah, you can have total control in C++. You can have total control in C as well. But I would say Zig is like more safe when you do it, when it has more safety features built into the language if you compare to C at least. I'm not that well versed in C++, but at least modern C++. So yeah, I would say at least compared to C, Zig has a lot more like safety features built in. I mean, technically you can program in assembly in Zig as well as C and C++, I think. I'm not sure about C++ if you can do that or not, but at least in C and Zig you can do it. I mean, I guess you could in C you could import like C stuff anyway, so yeah. As well as in Zig, you have like Zig has actually a pretty nice like you can import C libraries in Zig. It works pretty well actually. So that's a really nice thing. All right. But that was interesting here. Interesting because I've wondered about this myself. I believe this is probably not the final thing here. Like this feels like there should be a simpler way to do this, but yeah. Right now, this is the Zig way. All right. Let's continue here. What's happening here? Root source files, no document version. Oh yeah, so where is this? Here. where is document version actually? Oh, it's in generic. Okay. Oh, hang on. This, and this. Okay, there we go. Document. Okay, so this is in generic, I guess. I really want to like Zig, but I just can't. I mean, that's fine. It's not for everybody. It's I don't know. For me, it feels like the perfect language. To me, this is like, because the thing is that I've programmed in a lot of different programming languages, and Zig just feels different to me. It just feels like a new take on stuff. It's just, I don't know. And it's also like I haven't really been programming in C at all. So C, and so the procedural way of doing things, I haven't really sort of explored that space a lot. So so this is also a way for me to sort of explore the procedural way of doing things, as well as doing things in Zig, because Zig also opens up to other stuff as well. Oh yeah, C map. Where is that? It's in here. It just feels harder to me. I wouldn't say better at all. It's all about perspective, you know. Yeah. I don't know what to say. It's like to me, I don't want to use C++ and C because they are old languages that has a lot of old sort of quirks left in them. So I don't want to deal with that, and I would rather use a more modern programming language. And since Sig is like a new sort of low-level programming language, I would rather use that. And it also, but it's not only that. It's because also it has this new sort of, you know, the comp time stuff and the build system, and you know, there's a lot of nice things that it has that is just, you know, I don't know. I've been programming in Sig for too long now, so I've gotten so used to it that I don't see the problems with it. But I'm trying to use the strengths of Zig. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to sort of see, okay, where's the strength, and I'm trying to sort of utilize those. Yeah. And it's like, even if you have to sacrifice a little bit to gain something else, then I don't mind sacrificing a little bit of simplicity to gain something else. So it depends on what you need to do, what you want to do. I'd say that totally the opposite. Modern low-level languages feel poorly made in contrast to C, C++, and others. They just don't feel fun to write in. Okay, but have you tried Odin? Because I think Odin is way more... well, I haven't tried myself, but I think, I believe they say that it is way more like, you know, it's more like C in the sense of keeping to that style. In contrast to Zig, which has like its own flavor basically. But Odin is like a modern C or whatever. That's what I've heard anyway. Have you tried that? And you know, I always like to explore and see what other programming languages has to offer. So it's like, it's, to me, it's like, this is like exploring what this way of programming is like, and to find, you know, maybe I can take something from this and use that in other programming languages as well. So to me, it's like, I like, you know, finding new ways of doing things, finding more, I don't know, things that make sense to me. Let's see, this is properties. Oh man, all of these need to be updated. Okay, that's fine. Weapon scene. Okay, that was already done. Animation. No, that was done. Okay. Entity type. This one was also done. Okay. Libstring Z. Yes. I would probably just export that. That's the only thing that's in here, basically. Okay. I'm not tried Odin, but at this point I've been betrayed by 3 languages. But sure, I will see. Okay. I'm sorry that you feel like you've been betrayed. Sorry, that just sounded funny. Yeah, I don't know, man. You seem like you really like C++. And that's fine. I mean, that's all good. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't hurt also to broaden the perspectives and try other things. I mean, as I've said before, like when I tried Haskell for the first time, I had to basically, because I came from C++ and like others, procedural imperative type, or not procedural, but imperative type programming languages. So when I tried Haskell for the first time, I was like, because I really liked how it looked, and it looked so elegant to me, and I was like, I need to learn this. How does this work? It seems like magic almost, and I had to sort of rewire my brain in order to actually learn how to think in that way, like how to use maps and filters and you know, all that stuff, which is a very, very interesting experience, because it really opened up the, you know, a new way to think. There are a lot of things that we need to do. Time map, history. I'm actually trying to like other languages, but I just get bored with other languages. I want to do C++ after 30 minutes. Well, I don't know. Let's just continue with C++ then, and I think like once you've sort of built larger projects and stuff, then go back and try to do the same in another language. And I don't know what large means, but it's just, you have to put in some, get some experience to be able to sort of compare let's see, select. Oh yeah, this is time map. And this is small. Is there a lot left here? I don't know. Animations, documents. Maybe Haskell is the key to Rust and the others, but later I'm not going FPA now. Yeah, Rust is definitely taking inspiration from Haskell, as what I've learned. I haven't done Rust, but I know that it uses traits, which is basically like a less powerful version of type classes in Haskell. Which I really like. I spent like, I don't know how many hours trying to implement type classes in whatever language I'm currently using, because it's such a nice pattern. What are you making again? I'm making a game and an editor to create the game as well. So this is one of the code right now. Is this is the editor code. Wait, what's this? Document generic. No, sound document. Oh, yeah. Texture document. And font document. How much is it left? I don't know. I'm asking myself, by the way. Let's see, time map, non-persistent data. These tools. Action. No. Okay. Maybe this needs to be just action, actually, yeah. I'm currently upgrading from 0.14 to 0.15, and the reason why I have to do these changes is because I was using namespace basically everywhere, and they removed it. So now I have to redo a lot of the things that I took for granted before, which I shouldn't have, because I knew it was gonna disappear, but I did it anyway. I don't know. Oh, okay, now we get to these things. Okay, here we go. So the reader here, yeah, now we're touching this this subject of reading and stuff. So here we open a file. All right, and now we're familiar with this kind of the readers, maybe. I think what you need to do is make this a var mutable, and then this is the file reader, and then you get the actual reader by saying file reader.interface. Yeah, this just feels bad, but we have to do it. Hopefully they get another way of doing this later, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Unless there's like another way to do it, but yeah. Okay. Was that it? No. Okay, there's still. Oh yeah, you need a buffer as well. So file reader buffer. See, I would expect there to be something like, you know, let's say file, like reader equals to file, and then like buffered reader or something like that, and then you say, okay, I want this many bytes or something, and then you get this out, you know. So something like that. I don't know, but hopefully, yeah. The thing is that these things, like, you can see this. Okay, this is like a pain point. Oh my god, I have to do this a whole bunch of times. Okay, but then you encapsulate it in something else and you put it. I'm not doing it right now, but what you would do if you had the energy and time and stuff. You would encapsulate this part, which I sort of already have. I have. I think I have like JSON, and then we have, where is it? No. Wait, I thought I had. Maybe it was in the other project. Oh yeah. So here I have a function load JSON file. And this one, it looks like a mess here, but it's basically you provide a type and a file name, and it loads in the thing. So as from a JSON file. So yeah, and it checks for like file stuff, and if there's a issue with reading a JSON file, we also report with a JSON error. And so I already updated this code to use this here. So here I have actually encapsulated sort of this functionality that I'm using over and over again, so I don't have to. So if anything changes with this now, we only have to change here or whatever. But for this other project here, I haven't done that yet. So that's, I guess, something that would have to be in the to-do. But okay. What was the whole thing? Whole code was ruined by an update. Yeah, but that's also like, that's partly because of my own mistakes, and also because it's a new language. So I would expect these things to actually happen. So that's also, as I said, like, you have to have that mindset. If you're gonna work with Zig right now, you have to have that mindset that, yeah, things like this is going to happen if you wanna keep up to date with the latest version, which I am interested in, because I wanna show the latest version and not keep like an old version and stuff. JSON, wait. Oh yeah, how did this work now? JSON.reader. Basically just copying this here. Oh yeah, so now you can actually say like this. You don't have to actually do this. There we go. That saves a line of code. Yes. And this reader is... Oh yeah, and let's increase this a little bit, I guess. Alright, context, 10, editor session. Oh, it's like editor.session, I think. Should probably change that, but it will be nice when this is done. What is this now? Ambiguous format string. Okay, yeah, here's the other issue. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. This is one of the other things. Like, if you have a lot of logs, they changed how the formatting works. So the formatting sort of specifiers. So let's see. Yeah. So I have this UUID struct, which has its own formatting function. So if we go here and, well, if we go to the UUID here. So the way they changed this is in a couple of different ways. So now the format function does not take these two parameters. anymore. And that's basically all you need to do there. And when you're using the formatting, basically you want to search for anything that has, I think, D. All of these need to change, but you just remove this, so it's not really that big of a deal. However, if you have something that needs formatting, which is, well, it's not here because this is an error, you have to pass F here if you want something to have a use the format function. You have to pass F there. So I will check that later. Maybe I should have done it the other way around, but that is key. This key, however, is a UID, I think. So here I would say F for the format function. But basically all what D does, you can still use D. What we did before is formatting as a number. I would always thought that was strange because you pass in a number, so it should format it as a number, you know. But now you don't have to say D anymore, but you can still say D if you have a special format number function that you want to be calling instead. Okay, that was all the things there, but now we still have the format stuff. So whatever we log something that is like an ID or something, so let's have this, let's have like log something there and something ID. Here we go. So these ones we need to add F to these. That should be fine. And you still need to pass F, or S, I mean, to strings, by the way. ID, yes. Okay. Now let's search for key, I guess. Okay, that was it. Oh, I was like, well, is it done? No, of course it's not done. Okay, here we go. Where's document tag? Documents. No, this is asset library, if I recall correctly. No. It's assets library. And of course the LSP is broken, so I need to fix that as well. Somehow. I did update it. Wait, do I even have like ZLS right now? No? Oh, because I'd never... Okay. I think if we export path... No. No, it's... Oh, because I did it on Windows, I guess. This is dev sig cls sig out bin. Okay, now we should have cls. There we go. Why didn't I do that before? I don't know. Okay. Let's see how good it works. Okay, no diagnostics, so that's not a good sign. Let's see, context 164. Do we get anything here? Almost. We almost get something here. We get a little box that says unknown for everything. Okay. I'm running beginner Rust code right now. Okay, cool. I would say it's probably easier to do Rust. Like if you're coming from imperative, it's probably easier to write Rust code than Haskell, to be honest. That I think the hardest part for me with Rust is like I tried to do something and but I wasn't familiar with the semantics of like the borrow checker or whatever. I was like, what the hell is going on? I can't do anything. And and I never bothered to actually look into that. So that was like a showstopper for me. Let's see. But I realized that I had to actually read up on it to know how it works before I can actually do anything. Let's see. What am I looking at? Oh yeah, this is the writer stuff. Okay. So yeah, now we know. Okay, we need a writer. We need a buffer. I'm just gonna do this. And I will encapsulate this sometime. We need a writer. This is gonna be this. And you need to be mutable. And then here we can say .interface. Oh yeah, this doesn't work. This doesn't exist anymore either. The stringify. Where is this? Wait, it still works? Oh, we need to update this as well, I think. Yeah, this is not updated. Where did this go? Oh yeah, so it kind of flip-flop reversed. I always thought that stringify function was weird because there is like a standard way of writing stuff, I guess. So instead of doing that, what you would do is you would say like writer interface. Now you can say print, and you say like F, I guess, for the format function. So this is just printing normally, but you're printing to like the file instead. So, and then you do standard JSON format session is, there we go. And then try that instead. Right, so it kind of inverting the thing there. I think that's how you do it anyway. There's so much errors, I'm just going up and picking one at random like every time. Layouts, handle input. Oh yeah, that's like generic, I think. Options relative path. Oh man. Project options relative path. Where is this defined? Project. Okay, so this would be lib.project. I think. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh no. Okay, this is also another one. Okay. This doesn't exist anymore. The bounded array. This does not exist. However, I believe I just made my own version here. So I'm just gonna copy this. Bounded array. It's very simple, as you can see. Oops. Yeah. We don't even need like standard library or anything here. So yeah, it's very, very simple structure here. And now we don't say you, we can go to lib, and we can go to our, oh, now we get some colors in here. Let's just add here, let's add bounded array. Did it wake up now, or what's happening? It just works here, I guess. Okay. It might like this might be the only file where it actually works. Yeah, so bounded array. Thumbnail generator. Bounded array. Wait, what's this? No function name in it. Yeah, this is just empty. Projections, file writer. Okay, another place where we're dealing with files, interfaces and stuff. Buffer. Let's call this write buffer. Wait. No, let's just call it buffer, whatever. Why is input so bad outside C, C++, Lua, and Python? Like it's all shit apart from those. I like how you're generalizing all languages when you've only, except the ones you have used. You know, the ones, yeah, there are some that have like way more complicated, you know, than just print, whatever. Let's see. I mean, Haskell has one of the most simple ones, actually. Which one is just the one where you just put a string and that's the output? Maybe like APL or whatever it's called. Let's see, file. Okay, yeah. So we put the buffer in. We have this is this. Here was oh yeah, this is stringify. So we do interface print. We do a try. We do this format function self and no JSON format. There we go. And we can, well, okay, we have a catch here. Cargo just fucked me, so back to C++. What happened? I actually thought that Cargo was like one of the better like package managers. Let's go from below this time. Layout scene. You are layouts. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, layout generic. I probably should have just aliased everything, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that was the play. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it is better like this, to have it a little bit, you know, namespaced. CMap, this is CMap, of course. Layout utils, this is stroke map twice. We're gonna try to write some Zig. Nice. It's good, but Microsoft also fucked me at the same time, so it's a deadly combo. Oh shit. Layout animation 11. Layouts. You are assets. Standard bounded array. Yeah. Bounded array. We're passing in a bounded array for some reason. Append assume capacity. That doesn't exist. Append slice. Okay, we don't have that. I guess I will implement it. Okay. Append slice items. Yeah, I mean, it's just a for loop. Buffer len plus I equals items I length plus equals to items of length. There we go. No error checking. That is for the week. Okay. Great. Entity type 7. Yeah, should probably have aliased everything instead of doing this. Oh well. Utils, property editor, yeah, fine. Yeah, organization is like one thing that I'm constantly fluctuating about, like how to actually do it in a good way in Zig. I really wish this was improved, like auto importing, and I don't know. It's, yeah. It's a whole thing here. Okay, so this one is not that, it's this. Here we go. Time app. Okay. Assets library. CMap errors and CMap. These are in C. Or maybe one thing that I should, like, actually, once things are namespaced. I guess this would be simpler if I just said like scene equals the libc. And then whenever you want to use these things, they are always in the scene namespace, sort of. So that's probably, it's probably good that I'm doing this. What is this now? Root no, layout utils 12. Oh, entity type. And custom. We have entrance. Oops. We have exit. We have point, I think. I swear by next summer I'll be fully Linux, no more Microsoft. Yeah. I mean, I'm using both. This is WSL. You can start there. You can just go WSL in Windows, and you can have both. Or at least in my case, this is like what I need to, or need, but I feel like it's way easier to program, develop stuff in Linux, and I use Windows for basically everything else. This is just a terminal-based thing, so. Okay, what's your problem here? Slice. Oh, okay. Well, that's an easy one. I just yeah. So this I call it get. I guess I can call it slice. No wait, that's the index. All right. So this returns this. It's easy enough. Layout animation. Oh, that's right. I think we have to do this now. Okay, so we need a new thing there. So we have scene. We should also have animation. Documents, animation, and then we have a frame. So this is the thing, like using namespace was so good here. Like I wish it was still there. It's like I know that it makes, you know, the implementation of like runtime things very hard. But I just want, because since they're kind of mixing the structs with, you know, the imports and the whole structure of there, so I wish there still was a way to more easily just import everything. Maybe they will have something that is like import star or something. I don't know. It's just yeah. It just feels so boilerplatey having to do all this. What would you say is your secondary language? Do you mean in programming, I guess? Sorry, I'm just being over specific. Let's see. So secondary language. I mean, I would say the language that I'm actually most familiar with would be TypeScript, probably. And I'm not sure if, like, I'm probably more versed in Zig than, like, right now at least, because I've done Zig so much. Zig is like one of the languages that I'm like more used to now. But other than that, my job is in TypeScript, so that is what I am also working with. But otherwise, you know, I have dabbled in basically, yeah, a lot of different languages, but I wouldn't say I'm well versed in many of them though. But Haskell is like one of the languages where I've been sort of going back and forth with, because it's just so complex sometimes. It's like I would really like to be proficient at it, but it's like no jobs are, well, none that I've found anyways, they're using Haskell. And then yeah, it's just so different also from everything else. So you feel like you're stranded on an island when you're using Haskell. You're like stranded. And I don't know, I just feel like I want to use Sig. That's just, you know, that's just the feeling that I have right now. I can't really explain it that well. And of course Lua, since NeoVim is using Lua, I had to force myself to learn it, even though, you know, I don't like it that much. I mean, it's a good language. It's just, I don't know, some of the, okay, I don't really like, you know, the begin end stuff. But that's just a pet peeve of mine. I realize I'm, you know, also saying things about the syntax when it's not really that. I have to overcome my pet peeve about the syntax in that language. Also, PHP is like not really. I just hate the syntax in PHP. Okay, let's see. What's your problem here? Type function. Type is not a function. Okay, so this is a type now. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna do this just to get this working here. There's gonna be like some things here and there that's not gonna work, or that is needs to be sort of updated. What is this? Map cell. Where is this? Scene map. Okay. But it's really nice to get things like namespace like this. Okay, here we go. So this is documents, assets library. We have notice assets library. Okay. Layout property 15. I legit asked on Reddit how to understand how input is in Zig. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like there's not a lot of help out there right now for Zig. I mean that's just the nature of being a new language. It's like there's barely any Stack Overflow, you know, answers that you can get. Which in my days you didn't have Stack Overflow. I couldn't just Google on anything and get the answer immediately. You had to like you know, tinker around and sometimes bash your head in. I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying that that's kind of the way that things are naturally with SIG right now. You can't have a Stack Overflow like base of things without having a bunch of people asking questions and stuff. So it has to get like popular. People has to start to use it, and I guess it's probably better if it's more stable as well. Because if it's not, then you're gonna get a lot of outdated questions and stuff. Like even with JavaScript right now, like if you go and search for things with JavaScript and HTML, CSS and stuff, you get all this outdated stuff because it's like it's always updating every time. And even the libraries and stuff. Let's see, properties. What are pipe in like conditionals and such in SIG? So that's a Boolean operator. No, sorry. We don't have those. We have and ors instead. I say we as in, I don't know. SIG doesn't have that. Yeah, it's and or. Okay, now I understand your question. Sorry. It's like A is a Boolean and it's true. B is a Boolean and it's false. C is A or B. D is A and B. So you write it like this. Document 10 tools town map. Let's see. Wait, so SIG also counts /n a null operator in strings. I'm not sure what you mean. Like, in which context are we talking about? You can have /n and, you know, yes, null operator as in the zero byte in strings. Yes, that can be like included in the data, depending on how you do things. And if you have a zero terminated string, then the zero has to be there. But then you can use things like the sentinel slices and stuff like that. But it really depends on what your context is there. Like I made a program that prints a string character by character, and the last two characters were empty. Okay, so what's the code? Let's see. Documents generic. Okay, here we go. This is so here we're using like the old array list. Now we could just do this array list managed. Can just do this, or since this is like a local variable, it's not really a huge deal. So we can just say array list. Now this is the unmanaged version, and here you say dot empty. Okay. And then over here for append we pass the allocator, and here we pass the allocator. There we go. Wait, where is it? Texture, persistent data, 7. Okay, it's first document version. Okay, so that is not defined. No, documents version, first document version. Document generic 125. Here's more reader stuff. JSON reader, file reader, buffer. This is the JSON reader. Let's rename that. Okay, right, so file stream reader, file, oh yeah, stream, oh shit, okay, this is different. I don't think we actually need the file stream stuff. This won't work either. This is like a, oh, this is the buffer stream. Okay, so we have the slice already, so we're creating like a buffer thing. So let's do a reader. No, wait. If I had LSP, I would probably be able to figure this out right now, but I don't, so I have to look up the standard library. Okay, we have standard IO something fixed somewhere. Wait. Fixed buffer. Okay, so we have fixed buffer stream. Okay. So this should work then. Okay. So we don't need, well, do we need this buffer then? Fixed buffer stream. Oh, hang on. This is actually this is yeah. This is deprecated. Not the function that we call, I guess. Okay, so you would say reader.fixed, and then we have the buffer there. Okay. But then we get a reader. Okay, so then we actually get the reader, so we don't have to do this. This is the reader. Okay, so this is actually an example where it became easier. Now, what about this? I think you put. Wait. Okay, standard JSON. Standard JSON. Reader. Initialize. Yeah, this is a pointer, so we have to do this But this is actually nice because I believe in the previous version you didn't actually know what type to put in here. This was like an any type. Now we have the actual type. So that's a nice upgrade. It's like var standard in buffer, standard in reader, const standard in, and then a loop that does take byte with char and prints char each iteration. Right. Yeah, so that's, I mean, yeah, that's an example of being very low level. A low level example of that. A low level sort of way of doing things. Oh yeah, wait. Didn't I have this on? No, okay. Okay, JSON reader. We initialize it and we pass it in here, so that should be good. Unless we get some more complaints. 124 root file JSON. Oh yeah, so this is like reader.init. I think. Perhaps. All right, here's another one that I don't think they actually mentioned this, but alloc print z doesn't exist anymore, but it does exist like this. Well, the version alloc print z does not exist because it's kind of assuming that you're working with 0 terminated strings, but you can still work with sentinel strings, but now you have to manually put in a 0 at the end to say, okay, this is a sentinel, even though the type that you put in, I think now, okay, okay, well, I guess if it knows the resulting type, then it might work. Okay, but now it's gonna infer the sort of sentinel here. Okay, whatever. But that's what you have to do there. Let's see, enter type document 10 properties. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Hopefully next version won't be so bloody. Fingers crossed. Okay, here we go. Here's another one of these. So here's also like a file stream thing. So this is the reader dot fixed. That's right. And now we don't need you. You are the JSON reader. I'm not gonna rename this. Well, maybe I will. Reader init as anything there. All right, that should be it. Okay, and here you don't actually have to do the interface thing, I don't think. Well, if you have a buffer, well, I guess if you have a file, that's different. You have to have like one extra step if you have a file. But now we have like, we just have a slice. Then you just do this and you get the thing. Okay, so here's the writer. That's right. Writer. Yeah, and we need a buffer. And we'll pass in the interface. There we go. Oh, array list. I can do this now. Another one. Man, how many of these do I have? Okay, this is just a normal file thing. Oops. Buffer. Also, I can see here, serialize, that takes in a writer. All your functions that take a writer now can change. So this is now actually io.writer. It's a pointer to a writer. So you can change those to writer with that, and I really like this change. This is a really nice change because now it's not a mystery type anymore. It's an actual thing that you can look at. And serialize is somewhere. Where is that? That's document generic. Serialize. Same thing here. Writer. I just don't like sort of how to get there. Okay, and here we have stringify as well. So this would be writer, write, or print. Format, use a format function, standard JSON format with self-persistent data. There we go. I don't understand anything here. Yeah, I'm just trying to move as fast as possible to fix all these issues because there's a lot of issues here. With from 0.14 to 0.15. What is this now? Hang on. Field type. Okay, so this doesn't exist anymore. So you have to do this now. It's just a random bunch of updates. Oh, what's this now? Slice. Oh, this needs to be okay. Well, okay, let's make it constancy. Otherwise, you have to make this mutable. See, that's one of the safety things right there. This is like an example here. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see, like the syntax is a bit strange compared to like C++, but basically we have a function here called slice, and self is basically, it's sort of like a class member function, and where self is like referring to the instance. Okay, and then we have the return type here, which is a, well, you can say it's like an array. It's a slice. So it's sort of like, it's like a pointer attached with a length. So it's like a slice looks like this. So you have the pointer, which is a pointer to t. Well, let's, for convenience sake, okay, for convenience sake, I'm gonna say it like this. And then you would have a length as well, which is a unsigned integer. Okay, that's a slice. So it's basically just a pointer. So it's basically like an array with length, with a known length here. Okay, and then let me get rid of that. Oops. Okay. So that is what this means here. This return type. It's a slice of t. So whatever t is in this array type that we have. Okay, and what we return here is well, we have our buffer, which has it's sort of like an array with a capacity length, okay, that we know beforehand. So it could be anything, you know, any kind of number there. And we have this syntax here, which means we sort of slice off a bit from that buffer. What it does, it's creating a new slice. So I would say if this is equivalent to slice of t, where the pointer is well, if it's like buffer plus 0, so because we start at 0, so this is the where this ends up, and then the length is, you know, it's whatever you put in here, and then you have to do some arithmetic to find out the length and stuff here. If you have a different starting point, I guess this would be like -2, like this. Or wait, no, that should work out, right? So anyway, that's basically what you're doing here. Okay, and but the thing is that when we return this slice here, we're saying, okay, this is actually a mutable slice. So the one that receives the slice can change the data that's in this slice here. So it has access to this piece of memory, and it can actually change. It has the power to change the data. But if we say const, then we actually prevent that from happening. So we return a constant piece of data here. So now the caller that calls slice and gets this type out can't actually change the data beneath here. So now we can return this data, and we can be assured that nothing's gonna change with this data here. So that's a nice like safety built in. And not only that, but the complaint that the compiler had right now was that, oh, you're trying to return this type, but you actually can't, because the instance is not a pointer. It's just this. It's a constant, basically. So you have to make this into a pointer in order to be able to return a mutable slice like this. And that is a safety feature of Zig, which is really nice. And I believe this is, I mean, don't quote me on this, but I believe this is not possible to do in C, for example. Yeah, so that's just one thing that I find is really, really nice. But I'm just gonna change this to a const there and see if that checks out. Now it might be that we need it to be mutable, but I don't think so. Oh yeah, and this doesn't exist. There we go. Yeah, I was trying to lay it out in C++ terms as much as possible. But yeah, it's I know it's a lot with all like new syntax and stuff. Let's see, UID. Wait, what is it? Discard's const qualifier. Right, we don't need this to be, you know, mutable. So let's make this const. That's fine. That's also one thing, that when you define parameters like this, if you don't change anything, it's nice to put const here so that you sort of shield yourself and saying that no, this shouldn't be changed. So now this is not mutable anymore. It's also with context here, well, this struct here, you can also put const there. If then you're saying, okay, I want a pointer, but I want the contents to be non-mutable or not mutable. I really can't tell you what a single line does here. Yeah. I would say, you know, the more experience you get with different with different programming languages, and the more experience you get with C++, you know, the more easier you're gonna see, like, okay, you're gonna be able to see this pattern here, and you're gonna be able to guess what it's doing. That's what's gonna happen with enough experience. But then, you know, you can also just go through the tutorial as well. But yeah, that's actually quite a nice thing. Like when you see that happen, like, okay, I can kind of understand, because most of the concepts in programming languages are shared. Like 90% or something of all the concepts are like pretty much, you know, shared between different programming languages. It's just the syntax is a little bit different, and yeah, you have to like unless there's like a whole different paradigm, like some sort of weird, I don't know, like those proof languages, the COQ and whatever it's called. What was the thing called? Something with L. I don't know. Anyway. Just because of this, I will write the most ugliest C++ code in history and will code board you with it. Okay, sure. I don't know what code board means, but go for it. Let's see. This one is project, I believe. This would maybe also be project. Oops. Where is this? Project, yes. Okay. Hopefully, I mean, I'm not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel yet. Man, there was way more changes than I anticipated, actually. Okay, another place where we're using reader and stuff. Okay. Yes, and we need some sort of buffer. Reader, JSON reader. JSON reader init. Actually, this would be interface. Right. Stringify. Writer print f standard JSON format. Should probably just write a. I mean, usually when I do this, I usually write some, you know, search and replace stuff, but I thought, yeah, there's so much, you know, detailed. Well, I guess random stuff. Wait, what's this? Print standard for JSON format. Expected 2 arguments. Oh, sorry, my bad. Alright, we got a whole bunch of these ambiguous format string. Now, where are these coming from, though? I don't see the trace. Okay, let's continue here. JSON 154. What's this now? Okay, this is the reader. This is actual reader. There we go. Okay, now we get more. No, let's do this. It's a good thing the compiler is way faster now. At least I feel like it's faster. I wish it was even faster. You can't get everything though. Like instant. What's this? No, it's error is somewhere here. Oh. So this one. Okay, let's make this standard type. Okay. 4. We go to dot. No. We change to this. We go to the end. Okay. Oh. There's a dot there. Okay, whatever. Also, I forgot the at there. Do we have any other field types in here? Or was it only them two? Yeah. Okay. So that was very, very important. But I think it's nice. It is good to sort of practice your editor skills. So it's not in vain. Okay, here we go. Standard out. Let's see if we remember this. So we need a standard out buffer. We need a standard out writer, I think, or file or writer, or and this is file system files standard out writer. Or if we have to make a file first and then a writer, I forgot. And then this would be, yeah. I'm just gonna do standard out like this. Fine. Oh yeah, and we have to pass this buffer in here as well. Because now we can say, and am I even using this? Okay, I am. Interface. There we go. Maybe that's the play. Instead of creating a thing referencing interface, you just say dot interface. Oh, this doesn't have the thing, so we will do it like this. Strings edge, okay. Where's the issue though? If use f reference trace equals to 17 to see all references. What? Why is it so specific? I just want to see. It only shows like 2 here. Oh. I'm not actually calling it with f reference trace. There we go. I usually always call with that to see, because then you don't see. Okay, here we go. Here's the references. Where was the thing though? Writer. Wait, where is this? Oh, I see. So this needs to be an F, right? Upgrade 6 properties. When I'm downloading SSL for HTTPS, I'm gonna make Unix shell in C++ or just learn GUI. I don't know. What? Okay, yeah. So we have a bunch of places where this is. At least this actually tells you where the error is. This was way worse before, I think. This is a way better error message. Like invalid format string S for type URL 0. So that's really nice. And we should get the thing here somewhere. Entity reference. Layout property 200. So these, everything here needs to be F now. Everything that has like these UUIDs has to have F now. Okay, entity type 50. Oh man, there's a lot of these places. I wish you could just do this and it would select the format function. If there's a format function, it would like prioritize the format function. Like that was the default, so you don't have to type F. Also for strings. I wonder if this works still. I don't know. Layout time map to 211. This is a name. Oh yeah, so we need to do F for these. These are string Zs. Okay, I guess we can search for S. Yeah. Serialize. Yeah, that should be fine. From is a string, that's fine. This is a slice, I mean. This, yeah, that's a slice. This name, however, I'm not sure. That's a slice, okay. Type label name. Now that's a slice. Type label is also a slice. That's a slice, I believe. Short label. Yes. This is an ID. This is a slice. That's a slice. Target get path. Sure. That is a string. Yeah, that's a string. Except we don't need to do this. We can do this and F. There we go. Whoops. That's a slice. Okay. Let's see where we are now. Yeah, the formatting stuff, man, that was way more than I anticipated. ID is an F. Context 761. What? Cannot format slice without specifier. Now this one though, that should be F, I think. Yeah. Cannot format somewhere without specifier. What is happening? Oh, it's like in here, I think. Or wait, no? Like this is this. This is a nullable. No, it's not. Okay, it's not a nullable. There we go. There we go. Get label rect. Okay, you need F there. You need F. From morning to now, been on my computer. Same. Although I went from my normal work day and started streaming. To be processed is what? F. What? Okay, let's see. Do you have any Neovim macros? I'm defining. I use it by defining them on the fly, basically, for whatever situation I need. Wait, this can't be the last error. It's lying to me. Okay. Wait, what happened here? There we go. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's not the last error. Okay, layout property 94. Warming up. mean, I do have a bunch of custom mappings. It's just that macros are it's specifically like, you know, you define a macro by saying you press Q and then some other like identifier for which slot your macro is going to be stored in. So let's say a Q. So now it's going to be stored in the Q macro register, and then you can start putting like, I don't know, delete this file, replace it with, this was replaced with a macro, and then Q, so we can undo this, and then we can replay the macro. You can even do like select multiple lines, it will use it for each line. So that's actually really nice. When you have a bunch of lines that look the same almost, and you need to do some operation, and you can define a macro, just replace everything. That's really nice. Hang on, wait. Wait, what the hell is happening here? There we go. Documents, save 98. What's happening here? Ambiguous format string, could not find index get ID. This is format, whoops. File path. Another one. Who knew that having rigorous logging could actually go and bite you in the ass like this? Format, yes. Thumbnails. It also would be way faster if the LSP actually worked right now, but it doesn't, so whatever. Layout scene 120. Oh, this is format again. Format. Wait, this key pointer, there we go. Wait, is it a key pointer? No, it's, yes it is. What do you mean key buffer here though? Oh, because it's a string Z. I see. But then doesn't this has to be a... No, that's a slice. That's right, it's a slice. It's a slice. Because I was usually, when you say buffer, it usually has like an array, but in this case it's an actual... it's a copyable thing. So it's a slice. Okay, seeing persistent data, 200 get label rect. Is, yeah, that's a string Z. What's your problem here? Member function expected 3 arguments. Value format. Oh, I see. So the format function. Oh yeah, we need to. You need to change all your format functions. Let's see if we can actually find all those. No, we already changed all of those. Oh, it's taking longer than usual. Oh my god. Wait, is it done? No. It can't be. Oh my god. It works. Oh man. That was a lot. Let's see if like open. Well, we have opened all these files, so I guess it works. I'm just gonna assume that everything works. I don't have any tests or anything. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Now all the projects are updated to 0.15. Cool. So let's just do this. There we go. All right, cool. Now that is done. Did I push this? Yes. All right. Now we also have NFD. No, wait, NFD Zig. Did I push that? So I had to like migrate some other projects also to 0.15.1 because they hadn't done it yet. Cool game. What Zig libs are you using? So I'm using well, okay, so this for the game, well, I can just show you the song file, I guess. I'm using, well, ZGE sort of, that's my game engine that I'm using. But here I'm using Entity. That is like Zig's version of a C++ library that is called Entity. So it's like a port. It's like a Zig version of it. So it's not like it's, you know, automatically translated or anything like that. It's like handmade port of this library here. So that is for the ECS system. So you can create like entities, you can add components to that, which can be like any type of, basically any type actually, and yeah, store it in like component containers and stuff. So that's really nice. Then I'm using this raylib zig slash raylib zig. This is binding to raylib for Zig, which is automatically generated from the raylib code. And you can use raylib directly if you want. It has like, even the raylib project actually has a build Zig file, so you can actually just import it directly. But the generated code here actually adds some like easy to use you know, enums and stuff like that, so it's like a little bit more Ziggy to use. Okay, I have a UUID that just generates UUIDs. CBOR, it's used for saving in the CBOR format, like writing files in like a binary format that is called CBOR. Yeah, that's it. And the game engine also uses like raylib. Where is this? That is actually, this is available on GitHub. This one, this. It's only using raylib and entity. So I am using entity, but I am in the game engine, which includes like a physics engine. And oops, we need to bump this now. And but I do plan on removing this what do you call it, dependency here. Yeah, because it doesn't really make sense to have that there. Bumped Zig minimum version. Okay, Now, yeah, and well, cool. So that's done. Oh my god, come on. Let's see. Oh shit. Why did this happen? What did I do? What happened? This disappeared? Oh. Did I forget to flush? Oh no. Hopefully none of the files. No, it has to only be like if you're reading, right? Or I mean writing. But that's weird. It's like an empty file. Oh, because I opened it to write and then it truncated it and then I didn't flush. So, okay. So that's very good because lesson learned. I was gonna lose a lot of work. The save file won't save either. Yeah, so, well, I'm not gonna carry it, but the save file is now 0 bytes. So, okay. Very, very important that, but I can still load this game up, I think. No, source, run. Wait, why is there an error? Could not load game. Oh my god, no, don't tell me. Which file? Come on. Which file? Okay. Bad. Which file could that be? I'm not writing. Is it the index file maybe? Yeah, it's probably the index file. Okay. Okay, we'll do this. There's no panic yet, I don't think. So I will have to do this. Studio. Project. Oh, the project JSON is empty as well. Oh, that had like some project options and stuff. Yeah, but this is all populated, so that's good. So I don't think we lost any important data there. That was very interesting. Okay, so we need to search for writers. Oh my god, why? Oh. Well, the format functions I don't think matters. This one is not even used, so I don't care about this. Yeah, here's saving the options file. That's right. So saving, yeah, the options. Okay, so I guess you have to say flush. No? Is that a thing? Or not? There's no flush. So what is the what's your problem? What do you want from me? Writer. Wait, was there anything about this? Don't forget the flash. Oh, this is for like the standard output. Writer, standard out. That's the interface. So there should be like a flush function here. Oh, maybe it's like don't. Oh, maybe this is not. Oh, it's interface. Interface. That's there we go. Do I dare to launch this again? I'm gonna remove. No, wait, that doesn't matter. Okay, so now the options should be saved. Let's test this now. Wait. Error union is ignored. Oh. Okay, I guess we will catch this error. Could not flush. Oops. Yeah, I have to let's see. There. I have to wait. Okay, yeah. So here's all the things. The thing that got lost was this part. Enter scene, default tile set. So let's just see if we can. Or yeah, enter scene is the village. Where is that? Here. And then tile set is this. There we go. So when we exit now, that should be saved. Okay. No. Well, okay. The session is still not saved, so I guess that's fine. Okay, there we go. Now it's saved there. Okay, so that is the solution there. Okay, cool. You should make your own Ziglib to contribute to the ecosystem. Well, I am actually contributing because I did a pull request to another library. Sorry, it's calling here. 1 second. All right, so yeah, time's up here, but yeah, really nice. We got the upgrade to 0.15.1. It was a lot more bloody than I realized, and going from 0.13 to 0.14 was a lot easier. But this time, you know, I used a lot of the common functionality that is being used, like formatting. The formatting specifiers, using namespace, array lists, yeah, just bounded arrays, like a lot of things that was relevant to me now was updated. So that was a lot of stuff, but now it's done. So hopefully this won't happen too much more in the future, in the near future at least. But that's just something that you have to live with this type of language. So that's fine. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to I have to write this down somewhere. Let's see. So this I don't care about this. JSON. Yeah, this guy over here. So to do, don't forget to flush. All right, that's gonna be it. So thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you later. Have a nice one. Bye bye.